Having studied 9 Slavic languages, I've always been charmed by one fascinating aspect of Polish language and culture. Back in the 1970s, I found Polish to be very szlachetny, full of grace and respect, from kissing a woman's hand to showing deference in everyday speech. But what truly sets Polish apart? Stay with me to find out. In Polish, there is a clear distinction between formal and informal address, especially when speaking to one or more people. When addressing one person informally, Polish uses the pronoun ty, used singular. When addressing more than one person informally, the pronoun wy is used. However, unlike many other Slavic languages, wy, or its equivalent, is never used in formal situations, even when addressing multiple people. Instead, Polish uses third-person pronouns combined with the proper titles, such as
Pan,
for addressing a man formally,
Pani,
for addressing a woman formally,
Państwo,
for addressing both men and women formally,
Panny,
rarely used, but for addressing unmarried women. These formal pronouns are used with third-person verb conjugations, even when speaking directly to someone, regardless of whether you're addressing one person or multiple people. For example,
Ty jesteś zmęczony? Czy pan jest zmęczony? Czy państwo są zmęczeni?
historically, other Slavic languages also had systems similar to what Polish uses today. This formal system of addressing others in a third person was more common in older forms of several Slavic languages, as influenced by cultural norms and class structure. Let's break it down in more detail. Here are some example sentences in Russian that reflect the old, more formal way of addressing people, using господин for sir or gospodja for madam, where the third-person conjugation is used, similar to the formal address in Polish. While this style is quite old-fashioned and formal, you can still find it in historical or formal texts.
Господин Иванов, хочет ли он выпить чаю? Госпожа Петрова, желает ли она присесть? Господин директор, может ли он ответить на мой вопрос? Госпожа Смирнова, понимает ли она ситуацию? Господин доктор, готов ли он увидеть пациента? Госпожа учительница, согласна ли она с предложением?
This form of address is very formal and is mostly outdated in everyday Russian speech. Nowadays, the plural pronoun вы is used for both formal and plural contexts with second-person verb conjugation. In Old Bulgarian, formal address systems used to be more elaborate, involving titles and third-person verb conjugations when addressing individuals formally, much like the other Slavic languages of the time. However, in modern Bulgarian, this has shifted to using the plural for both formal singular and plural address, with the distinction between the formal and informal primarily indicated through verb conjugation.
Господин Иванов, иска ли той да говори с нас? Госпожа Петрова, желае ли тя кафе? Господин директор, може ли той да види пациента? Госпожа учителка, разбира ли тя въпроса? Ти искаш ли да говориш с нас?
The informal pronoun
Ти
is used with the verb.
искаш. Вие искате ли да говорите с нас?
The formal pronoun
Вие
is used with the second person plural.
искате. Вие искате кафе?
So in the same way, it can be used for plural formal situations as well as plural informal situations. In other words, the informal plural is the same as the formal plural or singular. For example,
Вие искате кафе? Вие искате кафе?
this simplification is similar to the changes seen in other Slavic languages where formal address systems have generally become less complex over time. In the past, Czech, like Polish, Use third-person constructions with the titles like
pan,
Mr.,
pani,
Mrs. when addressing someone formally. Here are some example sentences that reflect the older, formal way of speaking in Czech, using these titles with third-person verb conjugations.
pan Novák, chce-li on mluvit s námi. Paní Svobodová, přála by si ona kávu. Pane doktore, může-li on vidět pacienta? Paní učitelko, rozumí-li ona otázce? Pan ředitel, je-li on připraven začít schůzku?
In older Slovak, the formal address system also involved using titles like pan, sir, and pani, madam, with third-person verb conjugations, similar to Polish.
Pán Novák, chce on hovoriť s nami? Pani Horvátová, želá si ona kávu? Pán doktor, môže on vidieť pacienta? Pani učiteľka, rozumie ona tejto otázke?
In Serbo-Croatian, which includes Serbian, Croatian, and Bosnian, historical formal address involve using titles like
Gospodin,
Mr. and
gospođe,
Mrs. with third-person verbs, much like in Polish.
gospodin Petrović, želi li on da razgovara sa mnom? Gospođa Jovanović, hoće li ona čaj? Gospodin doktor, može li on da vidi pacijenta? Gospođa učiteljica, razume li ona ovo pitanje?
Are you interested in studying Slavic languages? Then give the Ling app a try. It has languages that other apps don't. Click on the link in the description to start your free trial today.